Изгортаю. Hello. Are you from India, right? Is it everything okay with voice and picture? Hello. Is it everything okay with voice and picture? Yes, yes, yes. Many interesting games. Good. Okay, great. So I will start my stream today. Three decisive game for today. We have a leader, Jan Nepomniachtchi, who had black pieces today against Fabiano Caruana. He was in big danger, but finally game ended draw. Gracias. ¿De qué país tienes? ¿De qué país estás? Pardon. Perfecto. Okay, so Firouzja rapport e4 started. Firouzja e5, knight f3, knight c6, played Richard. Of course, we remember that in this tournament, in previous games, Richard Rapport played c5 line. And after knight f3, he played Argentina muy bien. d4, c takes d4, and he played knight c5. And after knight c3, he played a6, and also bishop f4 was interesting try in first round. Jan Krzysztof Duda played against Richard Rapport. But today he decides that enough to play Sicilian. I don't know why. Of course, Firouzja made some preparation against Sicilian. But Richard decided to play Spanish. Knight f6, so it looks like he wants to play Berlin defense. If castle, knight takes e4, if d4, knight d6. Looks like he wants to play this. But Firouzja played d3. He's playing for more complicated games. Bishop c5, castle. So white has several options in this position, so it's possible to take and play this type of position, h3 for example, and also possible c3, what played today Rajabu against Nakamura, also possible knight bd2. There are several other moves, for example, bishop g5 played Jan Krzysztof Duda against Rajabu, and also bishop e3 is possible. But after bishop e3, black can take and play knight e7 with the idea that if knight takes e5, c6, and bishop is attacked and bishop comes somewhere, queen a5, and then takes the knight. Okay, it's very primitive trap, but okay. Probably not everybody knows this. Even if you know this, it's always good to refresh such things in your memory. Okay, so castle, knight d4. Another popular option here is d6. Of course, black need to do something. Not possible just castle, because white can take and take the pawn without any compensation. The point of black play was if now after bishop takes c6, white cannot take, of course. This is a big blunder because queen d4. Okay, I hope that everybody know this, but anyway. So castle, it's not like the normal developing move, but also a concrete threat to take black pawn. Everybody hear me well, I hope. Please confirm. Because if chat is passive, I'm worried if something wrong, and okay. So there is question what I'm thinking about Duda. Okay. For sure, I don't think that he will be mentally crushed, but okay, it will be painful, but very useful experience for him, I hope, and he will analyze together with his coach Kamil Miton, and I hope in next tournaments he will demonstrate his excellent level again. So I don't think that he will be crushed. If I will do prediction for next round, and I can, if there is desire, I can, but please give me list of pairings. So, please, I will try to predict. Доброго вечора вам. Звідки ви? Якщо не секрет. I answering in Ukrainian language. З Одеси. Дуже приємно, дуже приємно. Thank you, I am here. So, what about pairings for tomorrow? If there is desire to see my prediction, I need to... Dink against Rapport. Okay, Dink, Rapport. Really? So Dink again will play with white and Rapport again will play with black? Rapport with white against Dink. Understand. Rapport against Dink. Fabi against Nepo. Fabi played today against Nepo. No, Duda against Fabi. Duda, Fabi. Duda, Fabi. Nepo, Raja. Nakamura, Alireza. Oh, so interesting. Okay. Okay, no problem. So Dink against Rapport. So Dink is in good mood. But Rapport is white. Rapport is white. So Rapport is white, but he's in bad mood because he lost and very likely that Dink will win with black. So 0-1 is my prediction. Victory of Dink with black. Because Rapport after lost, I don't believe that he will play well. About Dink, I want to say that his level is much better than number of points. Because he had many very promising positions and only today he managed to win. So 0-1. Rapport Dink. Victory of Dink. Duda against Fabi. Duda lost many games, but I think he will try to play as solid as possible against Fabi, so draw is my prediction. Nepo against Rajavo. Rajavo won today. So, and Nakamura against Alireza. Okay, Nepo hardly will take a lot of risks, so draw is my prediction. Rajabov, не помню ще Rajabov draw, Nakamura Alireza. Just a moment. I want to make prediction of Nakamura Alireza. Nakamura white, but he lost today. Alireza black, but he won today. But Nakamura is great fighter, so 0-1 is my prediction. So finally, okay, how precise my prediction? Okay, you will see tomorrow. So I can repeat. Ding Rapport 0-1. So Rapport Ding 0-1. Victory of Ding. Duda against Caruana draw. Nepomniachtchi against Rajabov draw. And Nakamura against Alireza 1-0. Victory of Nakamura. Okay, if I see Kramnik opinion, okay, I listen Kramnik just for a few minutes. So, okay. Not more, so I didn't penetrate deeply into his analysis. Especially I stopped to do it when I see that he demonstrated some computers variations, so it's boring for me, but okay, it's totally his choice. But not so interesting for me. It's my choice. Okay, so if somebody is in contact with Kramnik, can tell him that if he will not use engine for his explanation, it will be more pleasure for me to see his videos. Very mad? Okay, maybe, I don't know. Okay, I have seen only a few minutes. No problem. Okay, so castle, now threat, and black played knight d4. Another very logical move here is d6. And after d6, usually white is... Okay, I cannot say that I'm not using engine ever, of course. But I can do it if I see that that position is really very complicated. But to understand this, I need at least to spend 5 or even 10 minutes with my own head to understand what is important in this position, what is possible plans, what are threats, and some other things. If I see that position is complicated, okay, I can put this position into engine. Usually I use Komodo. I don't know if it's correct choice, but okay, it's my choice. But only for a few minutes. Okay, so I see briefly computer evaluation and immediately try to stop this as soon as possible. if I'm making annotation, I don't see any reason to do it. My favorite system. Okay, I played all of this system. Okay, maybe Brayer, if I need to choose one of this list. So d6, c3, for example, very popular line after castle, knight bd2. Yes, open Spanish is yes a6, and now white has important choice to take on c6 and play d4, or to play bishop a4. And after bishop a4, black has many choices. Many moves are possible. Okay, but knight d4 played rapport. Thank you. About my work in open variation. c3, bishop b6, knight a3, natural moves. Bishop a4. Now d6 played Richard. Okay, I don't know what is theory, so maybe d5 is possible as well. But okay, after d5, white can take, and black cannot take with pawn at the moment. If take with queen, bishop b3 and knight c4 is coming. If take with knight, probably black has some problem with e5 pawn. Knight c4, for example, bishop c7, rook e1, or even take immediately, and after bishop takes e1, rook. So d5 immediately doesn't work, but castle looks like very logical alternative, because black still have option to play d5. So castle looks like more flexible than d6, because after d6 black plan is clear. After castle, black has choice to play d6 or d5, depend what white will do. Of course, I have no any doubts that there are a lot of games after castle, and maybe already there is long theory here, but yes. Only recommended? No, not Spassky. Okay, Spassky played this, but before Spassky, in the very good level and with good preparation, played Georgy Borisenko from Uzbekistan. So more, I think Borisenko variation, it would be correct name of knight b8, knight bd7 system. Although, according to my database, first game was played Ukrainian chess player with family name Koval, but he is not famous in only one game. So, but Borisenko played many games. So Borisenko variation, I think would be correct name. Okay, it's my opinion. Spanish torture, okay, it's thanks for subscription. Okay, it's not easy to play Brayer against prepared opponent, but which line is easy to play, especially now? So it's Brayer. It's one of the most solid system, in my opinion, in classical Spanish after h3. So thanks for subscription. Thanks for support of my channel. It's really important for me. So I don't know what was reason for Richard to not play castle and have flexibility. Castle bishop g5, okay, but why this is problem? Okay, d5, for example. So queen f3. Queen f3, h6 is possible, and after queen f3, white cannot play bishop h4 because after g5 they are losing immediately. So bishop h4 is great mistake. Of course, it's not so difficult to see. This endgame hardly promising for white. I think black can equalize easily. So after bishop g5, d5, to play something else. Okay, maybe not bishop g5 at all, maybe. But, for example, bishop b3 is possible to play. If d5, maybe... queen f3, it's not possible now, because after queen f3, black has this idea, this, bishop g4 and bishop e2 is coming. White is losing material, because if bishop h6, knight h5 is coming. So, bishop b3, d5. Okay, white can take here, of course. If knight takes, white can try to play knight c4, bishop c7, rook e1, something like this. Try to make pressure against e5 pawn. Rook e8, maybe queen f3, something like this. I'm not sure that bishop b3 is the best choice. But okay, anyway, castle looks like more flexible because of possibility to play d5 on the next move. So d6 looks like a passive idea. Probably idea is to organize attack in king's flank. If white plays immediately bishop g5, black can play h6, g5, h5, but yes, this is strong, but hard to believe that strong player will play bishop g5 with white in this position. So bishop b3 is much more natural, and now after castle, white has several plans. Bishop g5 now is possible. Maybe knight c4 also possible, and f4, for example. But queen e7 he played. I don't understand what is ideal, this move. Okay, knight c4 is very natural, and now if bishop c7, white can consider f4, even in better versions, that after castle, because queen e7 it's not so useful like castle. Black has no contraplay with e takes f4, d5. For example, in this position, black can consider takes on f4 after bishop takes f4, d5. And after bishop takes c7, queen takes c7, e takes d5, probably knight takes d5, and then bishop e6 is coming. Black has good chances to equalize, but obviously black cannot play same idea with queen e7 instead of castle. e4, e5, knight c3, f4 system, sorry, what you mean? Vienna game, e4, e5, knight c3, knight f6, f4, this system you mean? Yeah, okay. Or also exists this system, Pierce Gambit, or Steinitz Gambit, of course. Okay, so after knight f6, f4, d5, more or less forced because kids d5. Okay, alternative is d6, but d6 is a little bit passive. It's possible, but passive a little bit. So d5, now white has two possibilities. They can take and now play queen f3, the most popular line. Also knight f3 and d3 exist as well, and I remember crazy variation from old books. Perpetual check. But okay, after d3, black can simply take on c3 and play bishop e7. Then castle is totally normal position. So queen f3 is the most popular line now, and now black has choice. Knight takes c3 is possible immediately. Knight c6 is possible. Andrei Lilienthal played knight c6, but his opponent immediately mistaken. And after knight takes e4, very bad move. Lilienthal played knight d4, and white is almost losing here. After knight c6, modern theory is bishop b5. Knight takes c3, and now white has choice. Yes, f5 is also possible after queen f3, that's true. Yes, maybe this is the main line. Also, according to encyclopedia, there is game of Albert Kapengut with black. He is coach of Boris Gelfand. He played f5 in this position against Vorotnikov. So after knight c6, bishop b5 is correct. After knight takes c3, d takes c3 is modern line. B takes c3, it's viewers are blocked up. Sorry, what do you mean? So after b takes c3, bishop e7 is theory. d4 castle. Bishop d4. Okay. f6. And white can play queen h5, g6, bishop g6, and draw by perpetual check. No theory. Good. Okay, I'm proud to have such prepared spectators. So after b takes c3, this line is theory. After d takes c3, it's probably more aggressive idea for white, because white wants to play. If bishop e7, for example, bishop f4, castle, castle, bishop e6, knight g2, and then try to make pressure against d5 pawn somehow. Better than me, even Magnus. Okay, maybe Magnus can be a strong opponent. Knowledge of Fabiano Caruana. Well, so after d takes c3, also queen h4 is interesting line. g3, queen e4, this. And now, according to my knowledge, the best for white is knight e2, and after bishop d7, just take on c6 to protect pawn, and after bishop takes c6, bishop e3. And very interesting position. Black has two bishops advantage, but white has good development, and probably practically white is slightly better here. So this is theory of knight c6 briefly, and also of course f5 is possible. So, if black wants to avoid this, also possible to play knight c6 here, because now f4, knight f3, g5, bishop c4, it's Pierce gambit, g4, d4, castle, and now knight takes d4 is the best according to theory, and white cannot take this knight because queen g5. So bishop takes f4 is the best line. according to this is bad. Because not only threat to mate on g2, but also bishop c5 is very strong threat for white. I remember game young Alexander Alekhin lost very quickly. His opponent played this. Bishop takes f4, and Alekhin took on g2 and lost after this. But after bishop takes f2, f4, much better to play d5. And after d5, black is clearly better because white has no enough attack. h4 instead of bishop c4. h4. No. It's Allgaier gambit. Yes, it's possible. Yes. So h6, knight takes f7, king takes f7, d4. There is some theory, and yes, white has compensation. You are right. Thanks for subscription. So this is Allgaier gambit. And d4. So bishop b4 is main theory. Or d5 immediately. Thank you. Thanks for supporting my channel. So there is a lot of games was played here. Okay, Falkbeer gambit, but it's playable for white. So here I remember some line d5, bishop takes f4, bishop b4, bishop e2, something like this. So probably with precise play, black is better, but if black not playing precisely, white has good practical chances. Bishop c5 is also possible, yes. You mean bishop c5 after f4 or bishop c5 after knight c3? Because if after knight c3, bishop c5, there is a totally crazy line. Knight a4, bishop takes f2, this, king e2, check, king d3, d5, this. I mean something like knight a6, a3, queen take a4. Yes, knight c5 and this a5, something like this, and draw by perpetual check somewhere. But okay, this line has no any practical meaning. It's not important for from practical reasons because knight a4 is simply bad move, because black can simply play bishop e7, and after bishop e7 white knight doing nothing on a4, and black has very comfortable games. So, but for white it's better to realize this idea knight f3 to play it firstly, and after knight c6 white can take and play d4, after bishop d6 take on e5 and bishop d3 with slightly better position. And if black plays d6, now knight a4 is good idea to exchange bishop, because now black has no possibility to play bishop e7 anymore. For example, bishop b6, knight takes b6, a takes b6, d4, and white is slightly better in this position. And f4, bishop c5, yes, it's also possible. So here white has choice, three possibilities are possible. Bishop c4, knight c3, or c3. c3 looks like promising idea to fight for the center immediately. If bishop g4, for example, white can take, can play this, queen c2, and then b4 is coming, bishop c4. Rubinstein, Akiba played this with white. Yes, I think slightly better, if you mean this position. So e5, knight c3, bishop c5, this, knight a4, bishop b6, knight b6, a takes b6, d4, e takes d4, knight takes d4, I think. No, I have never played Traxler attack, only d5 after knight g5. So knight takes d4, for example, knight f6, bishop d3, castle, castle. Okay. White is slightly better. Not too much, of course, but more pleasant. Because, yes, because of two bishops, because a little bit stronger in the centrum. Okay, but nothing special. This is playable position for black too after knight c6. Well, but let's come back to Firouzja and Rajabu. So bishop g4. So this was idea of Richard. It's strange idea a little bit, because bishop usually is not good on g4, because somewhere white has opportunity to play knight e3 and to win important tempo. But okay, so it's very concrete idea, probably computer's idea. It's not like human choice, queen e7 and knight bishop g4. Queen e1 is very natural. Sometimes after king h1, f4, queen g3 or queen h4 will come. So, and bishop c5. Now we can understand the point of strategy of Richard Rapport, because immediately bishop c5 was bad because d4, and black is losing some material. Even, for example, if takes, bishop b4, a3, and then e5, and knight d6 is coming. So this is clearly bad for black. So bishop c4, but now d4 is stopped, and he wants to keep his bishop on more active diagonal. But okay, is it really active position? It's question. King h1, very logical move. He's preparing f4, and after f4, it's black bishop on c5 has no targets for attack, and white has quite clear plan. Sorry, after bishop a5, in which moment bishop a5? Wow, sorry, of course, knight can take. Yeah, sorry. It's my mistake. Okay, anyway, bishop c5. Bishop c5 is bad, but bishop a5, I'm just giving a piece. Sorry, I will try to avoid such mistakes in the future. You are totally right. Knight takes e5 is much better, so bishop g4. Queen e1, bishop c5, king h1, a5. So difficult to understand such a play. Okay, he wants to play a4, and gain some space in queen's flank. I don't know what was his idea after a4 from white, because d5 is not possible. e5 pawn is hanging, white is prepared for f4, so it looks like white is simply better here. I don't know what was idea of Richard, but okay. Choice of Alireza also logical. So he doesn't consider a4 like danger for him. So a4, bishop c2. White is prepared for attack in king's flank. So, for example, if castle, white can just take and play bishop g5, and this is extremely unpleasant for black. So, is it everything okay? I mean, voice or video. Prophylactics against bishop c2. Kramnik declaration. Okay, it's no, I didn't see. Okay, so b5 he played. He wants. I don't know what he wants, and difficult to say what he planned to play after knight e3. Quite natural move. It looks like white is just better here. So very good prospects in king's flank, and black has no contraplay. But okay, Alireza played differently. So very concrete idea. Again, knight e3 it's possible, but if play knight e3, probably more logical to play immediately knight e3. But even here, knight e3, white has better position. If bishop e6, queen g3, it's extremely unpleasant. So and after castle again, queen g3, it's strong. Knight f5 is coming. So this position, for sure, it's unpleasant for with king in center. But okay, with king in center, it's much better to play Sicilian Taimano variation, or another Sicilian like Najdorf, for example. After e4, e5 was idea to play with king in the center, usually not so good. Okay, there are exceptions, of course, for sure, but thanks for subscription. Your support is very important for me. I also need sometimes inspiration to my reports. It's not always easy. I love chess, of course, but sometimes I need to motivate myself. So knight e3 was a totally normal move, but Firouzja played differently, also very interesting. Knight takes e5, very concrete idea. Queen takes e5, d4. He is fighting for two bishops advantage, and he wants to realize black king on e8 by a concrete way. So at the moment he is pawn down, but bishop e3. Queen takes b2. Queen e5 was an alternative, but after queen e5, white has many promising possibilities. For example, bishop f4 is possible to consider. Also, queen b4 looks like very logical to prevent castle, and queen e7 hardly possible because bishop c5 is coming. So queen takes b2 already. White is 2 pawns down, but of course it was calculated by Firouzja, and now concrete threats started. Bishop d4 is very concrete threat, and black need to do something. Bishop e6 played Richard, I don't know why not rook d8. Rook d8 looks like natural, but probably there are some tactical problems. Yes, looks like. But why not rook d8? And also maybe castle long can be considered here. It's totally crazy position. So black has 2 pawns up, but his king is weak. But how to organize attack for white? Bishop a7. But okay, if bishop a7, e5 you want. e5, I will take on e5. So bishop a7, but okay, if bishop a7, queen e5. e5 you want to play. Okay, e5 I can take. I should take because of course knight d5 it's probably is, okay. Sometimes it's possible to consider this, but in this position white is just winning after queen c3. Sorry, queen c3, and white is winning. Okay, e5, queen takes e5, bishop f4. Yes, but if queen d4, why it is so bad for black? Okay, I have 3 pawns up and I don't see forcing mate. So long castle, rook d8 were alternative. So I need to explain that Firouzja played rook b1 is useful. Okay, of course white has good compensation, but white need to play precisely. Rook b1, yes, maybe. Okay, queen e5. Again, if bishop f4, queen d4, I will play. Bishop b6, okay, after bishop b6 I can even ignore this threat, so I can play bishop e6 to prepare knight g4. And if you take, I can probably even play knight g4 immediately and then take on d8. I will have 2 pawns against the exchange, and if black will manage to exchange queens, they will have excellent chances. Rook b1, queen e5, rook b4. Okay, it's possible, but this position is very far from clear. Yes, I agree that bishop f4 is idea. Yes, maybe it's correct way to attack. Rook b1, queen e5, or another idea, bishop f4, queen d4, queen e1. Yes, it's also possible. If king b7, bishop e3, and then queen e5. Okay, it's, of course it is dangerous, but okay. So and what about rook d8? To subscription. Okay, please ask somebody who already made subscription, because I'm not expert of such things. I know only chess. E5, queen takes e5, bishop c5. This idea. Okay, yes, I see this idea, of course, but if bishop e6. How you will beat me? Rook d1 or rook e1? Okay, if rook d1 I can take, and if rook takes, knight d5 probably. At least I don't see nothing forcing. Okay, maybe there is something better. Okay, bishop c5. Maybe rook, not maybe rook e1 somehow. But after rook e1, even I have this idea, knight g4. If rook takes e5, knight f2, and rook d2, and white is losing one of his bishops, and black is winning. Oh, okay, after knight g4, probably queen g1 is possible. But it's very far from clear. Queen h5, for example. So rook d8 is still okay. Positional player. Okay, it doesn't exist. Positional player purely. Nobody can be purely rook. Another rook. There is proposition to play with another rook. Yes, it's logical because now knight g4 is not possible. White can just take. So this is simply bad because white can take with rook. But after rook a e1, queen c3, black can play. Rook e3 probably is strong. But okay, queen. So I cannot take because the rook takes e6. Okay, Adams is excellent tactical player. Okay, queen c4. So it's myth. It's not true that a strong player can be a purely positional player. So good strategy need to be connected with good calculation. Without this, positional games. Sorry, I cannot propose you any good player who was purely positional. I'm very sorry, but it's not exist. So if you want to play good positionally, you need to be excellent tactical player as well. Akiba Rubinstein for sure wasn't excellent tactic player. Please show his please see his game against Rotlevi, very famous game. It's an excellent combination with Queen Sacrifice, or his victories over Lasker in Capablanca with Queen c1. Of course, Petrosyan was excellent tactic player as well. That's true. So rook d8 is not losing by force, and this we can respect Alireza that he took a big bishop e4 after queen c3. Sorry. Bishop e4. Of course, we can check it, but okay, I can take. Probably queen f6 is possible. Вот. Гістограма точність сходів порівняно з Stockfish. Взагалі не знаю, про що йде мова. Яка гістограма? То щось для мене Is it draw after takes on a3? No, it's hardly draw. Black has 3 pawns up and okay, it can be draw without rooks, yes. If, for example, imagine this position that there are no rooks on the board, for example, white has king on e3 somewhere, it's possible draw, but with rooks, white is totally hopeless. Rook e6 is winning for white. Where rook e6? Here rook e6, but white is winning. Okay, if I take with queen rook e1, this I understand, but if I take with pawn, why and where you are winning? Maybe you are winning, but how? Queen e1 probably, yes. If queen g6, queen e5, queen e2, queen e2. My idea was queen e1. Okay, queen e2 is your idea. Okay, queen g6 or queen. Okay, queen g6 and now queen e5, something like this. Maybe queen e5 is totally possible, and something like domination. Black has threat queen c7. And queen f5 doesn't work because black has bishop g1 after rook takes f5, rook d1 check. Okay, maybe, but it's quite complicated. Okay, so what Richard played? So Ali Reza could see, yes, he. But okay, but of course he could not calculate everything. So I have feeling that he played more intuitively. That okay, he understands that white has good attacking chances, and he decided to play it. Good evening. So bishop e6 played. Hi. Are you woman? So bishop e6. So black defended his pawn f7 and buenas tardes, prepared for knight g4. So bishop d4, very natural. Queen b4. Bishop c5, queen c3 played. Maybe queen b2 was also possible. Maybe even better was queen b2 to play. Not a woman, okay. So you are a man. If not a woman, you are a man. Good. Just a moment. Yes. So he has a good intuition, and he is a very brave player to play in such style in candidates tournament. Okay, I don't know objectively, but psychologically, queen b2 was right solution for Richard to provoke draw and try to understand if white is agree to make draw after bishop d4. Because rook b1 is possible, but after rook b1, white can take on a2 already 3 pawns up. Okay, still black in danger, of course, but at least they are not losing by force. Or at least I don't see if they are losing by force. Maybe they are losing, but I don't see it. It's also happens sometimes. So I like queen b2 here. But Richard played queen c3, rook a c1. So now queen b2 is less logical because white can play queen g3, for example. His bishop is already protected by rook. Rook d8. Bishop b1. So excellent strategy. For white is very important to defend his bishop c5. Okay, maybe rook d8 was not the best. Maybe knight d7 was logical. Disturb this bishop immediately. White has choice, of course. Even bishop b3 is possible to consider. But after bishop b3, maybe black can even take and take here. Okay, maybe white is better here. So, okay, bishop b3. Maybe also this version. Queen takes c5 and a takes b3 here. But a takes b3. Still. Okay, so bishop b3 may be strong. Bishop b1, okay, bishop b1 is possible, but after bishop b1, queen f6 is my idea. If queen g3, queen e5. Okay, but maybe after bishop b3, queen f6 is possible as well. Again, if queen g3, queen e5. Always question how convincing it is. For example, here white can take. Knight d7, bishop d6. Bishop d6. Interesting idea. Queen f6 maybe. Queen d2, queen h6. Bishop f4, queen h4. Okay, very dangerous for black, but I'm still fighting. Okay, so rook d8, he played bishop b1. Queen e5 looks like natural. Queen h4. So knight g4 is not possible because queen e7 mate. It's easy. Why I am showing such a line? Because I remember I played my game when I was child. It was tournament when I reached first category norm. I played Yanish Gambit. My opponent played knight c3. I played d5, he played knight g3, bishop g4, h3, takes, knight f6, knight h5. e4 now played Johann Sebastian against me. Probably this is correct move. But I played queen d6, knight takes f6, g takes f6, queen h5 check. I played king d7, king d8. King d7 was my first idea to prepare rook d8, king c8, but then I decided that I can do this plan by different way. And after castle, I played knight d4 and was really surprised with queen e8 mate. So it's my real game tournament. Such position with white, many moves promising. Yes. Queen takes e1. Yes, yes, yes. Against Johan, it was e4. Knight takes I played queen f5. He played queen d6. Later, I lost. It has no direct attitude to the opening, but later I lost the game. Lost my game against check g5 after queen h4. Okay, I will do it. So g5 here. Sorry, very logical move g5. Oh, at that time I played Yanish Gambit quite regularly. So and I had good knowledge. So after g5, very logical move, by the way, in Karpov style. It remember me game Kamsky Karpov from Caro-Kann. I'm in this position. Okay, I will put Caro-Kann. e4, c6, d4, d5, knight c3, this, knight g5, knight f6, bishop d3, e6. Now g5 is threat. So knight e5, it's g5. Kamsky Karpov. So again, we can see g5 with white queen on h4. And Karpov won this game. So I'm not sure that Rapport remember this game. So g5 probably was good idea. Okay, so what white should do? So queen is attacked. Totally unclear that white has enough compensation. Probably queen h6. But okay, what is threat? Black can play even rook d2. Okay, rook d2, bishop b4, knight f2 check. If king g1, black at least can play knight h3. Queen f2. Okay, queen f2 is possible, but knight g4, queen g1 is only move, and now h5, for example. Position is totally unclear. White can play h3, but there are no threats after h3. White can play rook d1 as well. Rook f d1 probably. But okay, it's totally unclear position. So g5 was a very interesting move, by the way. But bishop c4 played Richard, rook f5. So this I don't like. So bishop c4 is probably bad move, because bishop on e6 and queen on e5 are on good defensive positions. So it's not logical idea to allow rook f5 and so g5 was logical. Maybe even something like this was logical idea to give exchange and prepare castle. So bishop c4 looks strange for me. Okay, of course, Richard calculates something. Thanks for subscription. I'm happy that you support my channel. Rook f5. Rook f5, queen b2, rook g1. So bishop e6. Okay, so it's very logical, but now black has no good defenders. So queen already on b2, bishop not on e6. So he came back to e6 and queen g3. So probably queen g3 was a move which Richard missed. Probably he... okay, I didn't see analysis of Alireza, unfortunately, but I would be happy to see it. So queen g3, probably he missed it. And suddenly white has direct threats. After bishop f5, just take is possible, and rook e1 is an unpleasant threat. And white queen is ready to go on d6 or c7 somewhere. For example, this queen d6. This looks like totally losing for black. And now bishop e4 is winning. Looks like winning, at least. No, it must be winning. Idea queen b7, bishop c6 mate. Okay, so knight d7, bishop d6. Again, to take on f5 is unpleasant because e takes f5 and rook e1 is coming. f6 is not possible because queen takes g7. I mean here. So queen d4, rook f1. Just positional play in style of Morphy. So white has no concrete threats, but there is some kind of domination on the board. And practically it's extremely difficult to play with black in such position. h5 he played. Okay, maybe it was something better, but what exactly? I don't know. e5. Queen g4 he played. I see that if h4, okay, queen g6 is possible or not? Okay, more natural, just take. So queen g6 is joke. So after e5, white has concrete threat to take on g7. Pragnanda, really? Or just nickname? So there is proposition knight f8 to play. Okay, queen g6, queen takes g1. No, queen takes g1 I will take with king. So, okay, queen takes g7 is winning, so h4. So knight f8 is more serious proposition. So white can take on g7, rook takes d6, queen takes h8, but this position is not totally clear. after rook d5, for example. Rook takes f7 here. No, I don't think so. Rook takes f7, black will take with bishop and what? Queen g5 may be also possible. Okay, so knight f8 was possible, but Richard played queen g4, queen e3. Now white has monster bishop on d6. Rook takes f7, bishop takes f7, e6. What is this? If I take, so not understand. Looks like white already losing everything. Okay, so probably queen takes after knight f8. This rook d5, and now, well, no problem. Rook e1 problem, but okay, it's not totally clear. Black has his trump, so knight f8 was quite an interesting possibility. And now white has total domination. Bishop on d6 looks like monster, and important that black knight has no squares. h4 he played, h3, bishop e4. Game is over suddenly. It's not possible to defend c6 pawn. So now material is equal, but position is not better for black than before. Queen takes e5, it's desperation. Bishop e2. So, masterpiece for Alireza. I like this game very much. Okay, so other games. But probably it will be better if I will take 10 minutes break. So I will come back in 10 minutes. So I'm here again. Is it everything fine? Please confirm that you can hear me and see me. Good. So it's quite late in Ukraine, but okay. I cannot annotate all of games, but okay. My choice is annotate game only today. Rajabov against Nakamura, and other games I will annotate next time. I mean game Dink against Duda, and who else played? And of course game of leaders. So next time I will annotate, maybe tomorrow. Okay, so Rajabu, first victory of Timur. Congratulations to Timur, and of course my congratulations to Ali Reza with his first and very nice victory in this tournament. So C3 again we have anti-Berlin D3 system. Castle, d5. Another option is d6, as I explained after knight bd2 a6. So d5, knight bd2, d takes e4, and now against Magnus Carlsen, Rajabov successfully played knight takes e4, and after knight takes e4, d takes e4, he won this game. Okay, of course, it doesn't mean that this position's much better for white, but slightly better for white, and later Rajabov won against Magnus Carlsen in Linares tournament. I don't remember which year it was, but it's very easy to check. But now he decided to play d takes e4, another line, a5, queen c2. I don't know if it's novelty, but it's less popular than queen e2. So queen e2, queen e7, and later, after h3, typical plan for black to play knight b8 to prepare c6, style of Breyer system, or Borisenko system. Queen c2. Maybe it's not novelty, I don't know. But for me, it's new. It's a quite standard move, c3 and queen c2. But exactly in this position, I have never seen this idea. It remember me Antoshin system in Dutch defense. I mean, this position. d4, f5, knight f3, knight f6, c4, d6, knight c3, c6, g3, queen c7. Hello. Idea to push e5. If bishop g2, e5 is coming. If d5, again e5. So in theory, it calls like Hort-Antoshin system. So connection of moves c6 and queen c7, or c3 and queen c2, it's quite typical. But in this concrete position, I have never seen queen c2. Maybe if somebody have seen it, please explain. Not knight d4, sorry. So queen e7 played Nakamura. Black has choice, of course. But pawn is hanging, so bishop takes c6 and knight e5. Bishop f4 in Dutch. Okay, let's come back to Dutch defense. Bishop f4 is your proposition. Sorry. Maybe knight h5 is possible. Bishop g5, if e5, e4. Okay, but after bishop, and what about knight bd7? If c5, I have e5. If knight g5, probably knight b6 is possible. So maybe knight bd7 the most solid. Okay, let's come back to. After c5, e5, yes. Okay, sorry. Knight bd7 after c5, e5. C takes d6, looks like force, and bishop takes d6. Nothing special. If okay, d5, black can play many things. Knight c5 immediately is possible, or even e5 is possible, and now knight c5 and then take back on e6. Quite a standard idea. Well, so let's come back to Rajabov. Okay. Oh, sorry, it's not Rajabov. So Rajabov is this. Queen e7. Okay, I'm not sure about queen e7 because sometimes e7 square can be useful for knight, so bishop d6 looks like reasonable alternative. Maybe knight c4 also. Knight c4, yes. If knight a7, white can take on d6. So knight c4 is possible. And again, white has idea bishop takes c6 and knight takes e5. Okay, so queen e7 natural move. Now knight c4, knight a7 is unpleasant for white. So probably white losing material even. But okay, it's not so difficult to see. So a4, prophylactic moves. Now knight c4 is prepared, but knight a7 played Nakamura. Strange choice, much more natural here. Knight b8 or knight d8. For example, what is wrong here? Because anyway, white should go somewhere with bishop, so to play knight a7 I don't see a big sense, because knight on a7 has no perspectives. Okay, probably knight c8, knight d6 in future, but it looks like too slow. So knight b8 or knight d8 looks like much more natural. Maybe also possible to play h6, for example. Waiting move if knight c4. Maybe now knight a7. If knight takes e5, just play bishop d6 and try to take pawn back. If bishop f4, knight h5 is unpleasant. So knight a7 is strange for me, but okay, maybe not bad, but strange. Bishop e2, very logical, because white is preparing knight c4, so bishop c4 less logical, because, for example, if bishop c4, black can play something like bishop g4 with idea knight c8, knight d6. So bishop e2, good move. So white utilized that this square free for bishop. So now we can see idea of strategy. So queen goes to c2 and e2 square is free for bishop, and white is utilizing this. Under his potential. About Alireza, okay, of course, he's hardly happy with his result, okay, but probably there are some psychological reason. He had very hard two first games. My pronunciation? Is any problem with my English pronunciation? Well, so about Alireza, I have feeling that extremely important was start well in this tournament, but he didn't. He had two very hard draws in first round with black in first two rounds, and then he lost, so it's not... thank you. But okay, anyway, same like for young Krzysztof Duda, I hope this tournament will be very, very useful experience. But now question, so why Nakamura played knight c6? So if he wanted to provoke draw after bishop b5 or what? Much more logical, in my opinion, to play b6, to prepare bishop b7. And many things better. Better webcam, better microphone, and go to... okay. He was asking for repetition, but why not play complex game after b6? Good suggest, thank you. So why not play b6? My plan is simple, to play bishop b7 and then knight c8, knight d6, try to organize pressure against e4 pawn. What is my problem? So knight c4 is possible, but okay, now I have choice again. I can play bishop b7 with idea to take on e4, or I can play knight c6 now, just defend the pawn, but already with knight on c4. And black is prepared for bishop a6, queen e6. Looks like totally normal position for play. So knight c6 looks like psychological fight, but against pawn on c3, it's understandable that knight has no good perspectives. So I don't like this move. Because of this, I will put exclamation mark. Maybe dubious was correct, but okay, so I don't like. I'm not angry, but I don't like. Okay, objectively playable move. But let's go. Bishop a7 he's playing. Thank you, I will try. Maybe even not candidates tournament, I would be happy to play any tournament, which is not so easy. Bishop a7, extremely risky because black is giving pawn. Why? So bishop b6 was possible, bishop d6 was possible. But okay, after bishop a7, bishop b5, black is... Okay, but I wanted to say that black is in trouble now, but why? Maybe it is not true. For example, what is problem with bishop d7? Okay, there is problem knight on c6 is bad. So white can play just bishop g5 and then bishop h4, knight fd2, knight c4, so it's unpleasant position already. So Nakamura decided to play bishop g4, but he gave a pawn. Timur took the pawn and compensation is not clear. Because only attack in king's slam can be compensation. Bishop f2 and rook takes a5 is obviously bad because b4, a5 coming. If not, white is ready for king h1, rook g1, so it doesn't look that black has enough compensation for the pawn. Queen e6 he played, queen e2, very natural, to prepare knight c4. Because bishop b6 was threat. If, for example, king h1, bishop b6 is unpleasant. And black is taking back the pawns. Okay, knight b3 is possible also after bishop b6, but okay. Much better for white to have knight on c4 than on b3. So queen is2, it's good move. Knight h5. No, I don't want to play in Senior World Championship. At least I'm not thinking about it now. I want to play in Stavanger or somewhere in against the top players like Vaikanze. This is I'm much more interested than to be called like senior. I feel that I am enough young to play against young players and to be successful against them as well. So knight h5, b4, king h8. Looks like black is preparing for f5 because immediately f5, queen c4. And after exchange of queens, of course, any attack is stopped. King h1, h6. What is point of a6? Maybe after f5, queen c4. It's very unpleasant. Maybe this is point. And exchange queens is bad, and white is ready to collect another pawn. So h6, but now queen c4, queen f6 is possible, or queen h3, and white has problem with h3 pawn. But okay, rook g1. No, I am not in contact with Ukrainian teammates. During last time, I mean. Only with Igor Kovalenko a little bit. Rook g2. So, Timur just consolidate his forces, and black has no real attack and has pawn down, and a lot of weaknesses on queen side. Rook d8 looks like the most logical here, in my opinion. Somewhere try to organize contraplay on d line, so queen c4, rook d1 is possible. After bishop e3, probably it's possible to take and play f4, try to fight for f4 square for his knight. So rook d8 seems me like the best practical chance. White is better here, of course, anyway. Well, for example, if knight c4, I can take probably and take on f2, and knight is hanging, so rook on d8 can be active, so maybe not so simple. Bishop g5 doesn't work because knight g3. Sorry if this is too primitive, but it's funny more or less. Bishop b6 instead of f5, bishop b6, but what is your idea after knight c4? Black is ready to play f5. Ah, you mean bishop f2 probably? Maybe, but it looks like dangerous. Even this idea is possible. It's bad for black. So but now rook d8 was the best chance, and situation still not so clear, in my opinion. Yes, I already consider it. But he took immediately queen take. So it was another reason to play rook a8 before, to have check from d1 after queen takes e4. So rook f6 he played, bishop e3. Takes, so black has no f4 square anymore. And pawns c6 and e5 extremely weak. Rook f8 looks like natural, but I don't know why Nakamura didn't play this. So this looks like very natural. At least attack f3 pawn. For example, if rook f1, queen h3, it's possible. With idea knight g3, but queen g4, I'm afraid that white can exchange queens and endgame looks like very unpleasant for black. Is it everything okay with voice? Чому не спите? Та от закінчу коментувати і піду спати. То я вже цю партію. А вже потім завтра прокоментую 2 партії решта з 9-го туру. I answer it in Ukrainian language why I am not sleeping. So my idea is finish game Radjabov Nakamura, and after it to go to sleep, and other 2 games from round 9 I will. Yes, tomorrow. Maybe. Tomorrow I will. Probably about 12 o'clock. AM, of course, not PM. Ukrainian time. Español. Yo también hablo español. Me gusta hablar español, pero generalmente estoy comentando las partidas en inglés. So, queen d5, but strange choice. Good night. Okay, Let me finish at least this game. So queen g4, Timur attacking his knight. Gracias. Rook e2. So material is equal, but a pawn is very, very strong. So c5, knight c6, b5. So knight is strong, a5 is 6. No parlevo, France. Pardon. It's a pity for me, but no parlevo, France. It was too difficult. I tried, but it was too difficult for me. Francais and Portuguese, because it's too strong contrast with Spanish. If I see same word, but about Spanish. D4 player. Learn Spanish opening. Which player or players would you recommend me follow? Okay. Some weeks before, Kirill Shevchenko asked me the same question, whom I recommend to follow if to improve knowledge in Spanish and Italian. And I answered him that I recommend him to follow 3 players. Karyakin with both white and black, Leko both again white and black, and Sergei Tivyakov just with white, because Sergei Tivyakov with black against e4 usually playing Scandinavian or Sicilian or French defense sometimes, but he is not e5 player, e4 e5 player with black. So 3 players I recommend in Spanish and Italian: Tivyakov, Leko, and Karyakin. The best opening, I don't know, because it depends of style. Yes. So Tivyakov is great expert. Okay, Caruana. Very strong player, but of course many other players can be considered, like Topalov, Anand, Nepomniachtchi y muchos otros jugadores, pero por primero te recomiendo ver partidas solo de 3 jugadores: Karyakin, Leko y Tivyakov. Well, it's not necessary to follow my advice, of course, but it's my recommendation. It's my answer to your question. Of course, it doesn't mean that other players playing bad in this opening. All this language, okay, because I'm very curious man till now, also in chess, or mainly in chess, then other. Okay, so we see that Radjabov had winning position. Black has only weaknesses and no contraplay. And without special resistance, he won. King g8, rook c2. Knight b4, so black cannot defend his pawn. So c5, e4. Game is over. And Nakamura resigned because white pawns are unstoppable. So black is losing material, no compensation. So it's really too late for me. I need to sleep. So yes, Polgar likes, Nigel Short likes e4. So there. Garry Kasparov likes to play e4. Jan Karpov liked e4. So many players likes to play e4. Michaels, Adams, yes. Exacto. Exactamente. Okay, so I need to finish the stream. Thanks for all to attention, to subscription, and for all support of my channel. See you tomorrow. Hasta mañana.